Hello ToeJam and Earl fans, it's Ant Hazuki here, and I am delighted to finally share my thoughts and opinions on the brand new ToeJam and Earl game, Back in the Groove. ToeJam and Earl is one of my favourite gaming series of the 90s, and I have fond memories of playing the original game and its sequel, Panic on Funkotron, with my friends in what was one of the most unique and charming co-op games of its era. The games have since then gone on to attain cult classic status, with a small but loyal hardcore following of fans. 18 years on, and with the release of Back in the Groove, the question is whether in 2019 Humanature Studios have developed a game that lives up to those classics. Will you like it if you're a hardcore fan? What is it like if you're a newcomer? Is the formula still fun and relevant in 2019? Well, prepare to find out, as Humanature Studios have very kindly sent out a review code to me to share with you my thoughts on the game. The footage you are seeing is from the PS4 version of the game running on a PS4 Pro, but the game is also available on Switch, Xbox One and PC, and will launch on March the 1st, 2019, priced at around $20, £16 or €18 depending on the platform you are buying it on. So if you're new to the franchise and you're wondering quite on earth what you're watching, well, let me introduce you to the world of ToeJam and Earl. ToeJam is the red guy with the 3 legs and Earl is the chubby peach coloured chap, and both are space alien rappers dedicated to bringing the funk music to everywhere they go. They also have an amusing penchant for crash landing their spacecraft on Earth, and in Back in the Groove, just like the original ToeJam and Earl game, they find themselves having to collect pieces of their broken spacecraft in order to fix their ship and find a way back into space. The best way of describing the gameplay in the original ToeJam and Earl, as well as this one, is that of a roguelike, where you explore a set of procedurally generated levels, finding pieces of your spacecraft and items in the form of presents that will either hinder or help you in your adventure, and you'll either fight or sneak past a wide variety of quirky human or fantasy characters in your path as you try and complete your goal. Back in 1991, roguelike games were quite common, but ToeJam and Earl stood out with its quirky sense of humour, likeable characters, an awesome funk soundtrack, and a technical feat of engineering allowing a 2-player split screen that allowed people to explore the environments in completely different areas of the map. You weren't just tied to the same screen. It was unique to play something like this on a console in the 90s, and my friends have many fond memories exploring the environments and trying, and usually failing, to complete the game. The sequel, called Panic on Funkotron, changed the genre completely, however, becoming a side-scrolling platformer and nothing like the original. This was quite unusual for a sequel at the time, and many fans prefer the original premise, myself included. However, for what it's worth, this is a really great game as well. It retains the humour, amazing music, the co-op mode, and in general it's a fantastic platforming game. The final game in the series up until this point was ToeJam and Earl 3, released as an original Xbox title way back in 2001, where it took the series in a 3D direction. Generally forgotten by most, again this is actually a game that's well worth your time in checking out, and I would very much welcome a re-release and remaster of this game. Anyway, 18 years on, and with Back in the Groove, it returns to the style and theme of the original game, and as the creator of ToeJam and Earl states, it aims to be the sequel that everyone wanted to the original game. I'm pleased to say that they have succeeded in this aim. Anyone who's a fan of the original games will really like what's on offer here. They have essentially taken the original game's premise, updated it to 2019 standards by allowing 4-player couch co-op and online drop-in and drop-out co-op, and mix the best bits from the sequels for good measure. As mentioned before, the crux of the game does remain the same in Back to the Groove. You'll be exploring floors, looking for ship parts, whilst facing ever crazier scenarios and obstacles. You'll see aliens, Santa Claus, opera singers and hula dancers, for example, that all have different effects on your character. As you explore, you gain XP, increase your level, starting all the way down from Wiener, trying to rise all the way up to Rap God as you attempt to get off planet Earth. There are a total of 9 playable characters to choose from this time around, with characters returning from the original games and some new faces, and each character has their own set of stats and special abilities, enabling you to find someone suited to your style of play. You're also able to set individual difficulty levels for each person that joins you on your adventure. This is a really great feature. If you have a friend that's never played before and want to ease them into the game but still want to challenge yourself, you can do this. There's also multiple ways of now playing, including a very helpful tutorial world, which I highly recommend if you're new to the game, as it goes through all the basics of the game, such as how to find and open presents, how to level up your character, as well as teach you some of the more quirky additions to the game, such as the rhythm actions and the hyperfunk zone. We have on offer the normal mode, which is exactly like the original game in having a set of procedurally randomly generated levels. We have the fixed mode world, where the level stays the same each time, and we have some new additions like hard mode, which, as the name suggests, it's a much more hardcore experience, and in my opinion ratchets it up to the level found in the original games. There are quite a number of other secrets and unlockables to discover as well. I won't ruin that for you here, and I'll let you discover them for yourselves if you're a fan. Graphically and presentationally, for me, it hits all the right notes. It retains the look and feel of the original whilst looking great in HD. The characters and enemies have the Sega bright and colourful look to them, and they really pop. If you have a newish TV that supports a live colour, this is definitely one of the games you want to turn it on. It helps make it that vibrant, ultra bright look that Megadrive games had on the CRT back in the day. Very nice. Musically, I'm pleased to say that it retains the high standards of the original games. The original games was one of the most well-liked and remembered soundtracks of the 16-bit era. It brings back those classic tracks with a new twist on them, as well as a whole series of new tracks which capture the ToeJam and Earl spirit and vibe. One thing to note is, as of yet, I've not had the opportunity to test the netcode for public games. I mean, this is obviously due to the fact that the game isn't actually released yet, and so I will be doing a follow-up video after release to give you my views on how it actually is. One thing that I've been caught out with a number of games recently is poor netcode. One of them being the Sega Megadrive Classics collection. I primarily bought this to play co-op with my friends, and the online mode simply didn't work. Now, co-op is key to this game's appeal, and whilst it's fun and very playable in single player, I think it would be a disaster if the online co-op aspect of this didn't work as intended, so make sure you watch out for that. One aspect you don't have to worry about, however, is the couch co-op. I've given this a go, and it works exactly how old school ToeJam and Earl split screen co-op worked back in the day. It's a lot of fun, and I really like different co-op interactions that the characters have between each other. So, as you could probably tell by now, I'm really pleased with Back in the Groove. This game was supported by the fans as part of a Kickstarter, and the developers have done a great job at delivering what the fans wanted them to do. So what about newcomers then? Well, to be honest, this is something I find much more difficult to judge. Like many cult classics, you either get it or you don't, but I fundamentally believe that this is a fun, chilled game, and if you want a great old school co-op experience that doesn't involve season passes, loot boxes, cosmetic skins and all the rest of the modern nonsense that permeates the market, and you have an open mind as to whether you'll like it or not, I can wholeheartedly recommend it. What I think will be very interesting is to see the overall response to this game, and I wonder if it would be kind of like Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Laylee was another Kickstarter game and is essentially a remake of Banjo-Kazooie by the makers of that game. And when it came out, in general the fans had a positive reaction to it, but the modern media sort of gave it a hard time. In many ways it's irrelevant. The developers have delivered the true sequel fans of ToeJam and Earl were waiting for. It's clear that they've poured a lot of time, effort and love into crafting ToeJam and Earl as a modern experience, and there's a fine game there waiting for those that are into roguelike type games. If you have any questions about the game, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer. And whilst you're here, I always appreciate a like and subscribe. Watch out for more ToeJam and Earl videos coming up in the next few days. I'll be having full playthroughs, trophy and achievement guides, and of course a video about the online play. Thanks for watching and see you on the next video. Cheers.